All right, guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the Empowered AI podcast. Today I'm joined by Daniel McCurry from Dan's Fitness Lab, really good friend of mine. Helped me go through a major transformation as well. Been in the space for a while now, so be good to get to understand a little bit about what it is he does and how he's helping others achieve their fitness goals. Dan, good to see you, my man. How you
Pleasure
been?
to be here. Good. Thanks for having us on.
No worries, man. So yeah, let's start us off and give us a little understanding of how you found yourself into the space, started up Dan's Fitness Lab, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, perfect. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Daniel. I'm an online and face-to-face coach. I've been in the online space now for around about a year, and I've been a face-to-face coach for coming up on 4 months now. So how I found myself pretty much in the space of being a coach was I started out as a membership sales consultant, so
Nice.
at Anytime Fitness. From there on, I was kind of in limbo, not too sure what I wanted to do. Observing some of the trainers and how they operated throughout the gym, I really found that intriguing and interesting. And I remember going home and having a chat to my mum about it. And pretty much the next day, I was enrolled online to do my personal training certificates. Ongoing, what I didn't know was how much of an impact being a membership sales consultant would benefit me down the line when I did start my own personal training business. Because obviously, as you know yourself, sales skills are everything when you do start a business. So obviously starting a business in itself is hard. Having no sales skills makes it even harder. So getting the experience through that, getting sent to multiple sales workshops in that role really set me up for when I did start and go out on my own as a trainer. And yeah, it's really benefited me from there.
Bro, that's so true. Same thing with me. When I was working at KPS for 2 years, all I was doing was selling. And then starting up my own business now, you bring those skills with you and it's like you get a major head start.
Yeah,
Because you
exactly
understand
right.
how to speak to people, you understand how to interact, and then you take all those skills and you bring them into your own business. So yeah, 100%. So going into the space early and obviously taking all the experience you had helped you go through a major transformation yourself as well. So I think that's a major point I want to touch on. Dropping 16 kilos, was it?
Yeah, it was 16 kilos in
Far
12
out, man.
weeks.
That's crazy. So if you want to break down how you did that, because I mean, there'd be a lot of people out there wanting to go through major transformations themselves, and they just don't know where to start.
Yeah, of course. So when I went through my own transformation, I hadn't really coached anyone yet. So what better way to gain experience and actually go through it myself? So what it consisted of was a training program which I made for myself. I was training 4 days a week, mostly strength training, every day aiming to get between 8 to 10,000 steps and a really dialed in nutrition plan. So I remember starting at about 2,200 calories. Obviously, the specific macros were different. And by the end of the 12 weeks, I was on about 1,500 calories.
Nice.
Now, it can take a toll on you mentally and physically. A lot of people do notice in the gym on a weight cut, you're not able to lift as heavy of weight as you are, obviously, when you're maintaining weight or bulking.
Yeah.
But mentally, it did help me a lot because obviously, when you're eating bad foods anyway, you're not going to feel the best. Your energy is still going to be low. So, eating a lot of nutrient based foods, getting my micronutrients in, really did still fuel me to be able to perform in the gym. And once you see that weight dropping off, man, it's pretty crazy and it just keeps you so motivated. What I'd say for everyone is when you are going through weight loss, make sure you're taking a lot of photos along the way. Also, weigh yourself every morning because you might lose 300 grams, 400 grams a day. Seeing yourself in the mirror every day, you're not really going to notice those little changes. But I remember every morning hopping on the scales, like so excited. I couldn't wait to get on those scales and just
Yeah.
see that number drop down. Obviously, there's going to come a time where your weight loss is going to plateau. Don't get too stressed about that. Stay consistent, and then you'll see a really big dip over the next couple of weeks where it'll drop 2-3 kilos in a day, and it's
Far
really
out.
crazy to see.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And obviously, you would have seen the physical benefits in dropping the weight, but how's it taken a toll on the mental benefits for yourself as well as now running a business?
Yeah, so the mental benefits were really huge because it builds a lot more self-confidence. Obviously, at the time, you look at yourself in the mirror every day, as I said. So sometimes when you are a bit fluffy or overweight, you don't really realize it until you do step on the scales or get a BMI rating that does tell you you are overweight. And that's when you want to make that change. Mentally, it gave me so much more confidence. Seeing myself, how much more I was in shape. how much different I looked. It really did mentally give me a lot more belief and confidence in myself, not only for the way how I looked, but for my process in weight loss, that it would work to pass on to other people.
That's true, and you've helped some of our mates.
Yeah,
You helped me personally as well. So Dan helped me go from, I think it was 68, 69 kilos all the way up to 81.
yeah,
So a majority of that being muscle as well. And I think the biggest thing that he did for me was not only the food intake, but it was the training in the gym and the intensity. So normally I'd go into the gym and you do a set and then you scroll. It's been 3 to 5 minutes and you do your next set. But Dan implemented a strict 40 seconds after each set, and I'd be right back into it. And I've never gone back. It's the best way to train. I know I've implemented it with Erica as well. She trains really quickly. What's your like methodology around that? Because I was like, a lot of people I say that to, they're like, you should be resting more, but we're going really heavy and we're going quick rest times between sets.
yeah. So pretty much what we call that is you're training in progressive overload. So you're training with really heavy weight and in the low rep range. So normally you want to be training between 8 to 10 reps. 8 to 10 reps should be your failure. So where you really get into that 8th rep and you're pushing and trying
Yeah.
to get that up. So it's really high intensity. Also with the timings, a minute rest I feel is absolutely perfect. It gets you enough rest in and then it allows you to work the muscle again. A lot of people drag out their gym sessions where they're in there for over an hour, and mentally for the next time you need to go to the gym, you're already thinking, I'm going to be in there for over an hour, and you're mentally defeating yourself and building excuses to say you don't have time. As opposed to that, as a structured plan, you're in there 45 minutes max and you're out. The next time you need to go to the gym, mentally you're thinking it's going to be over quick. I've got plenty of time to do this.
Bro, that's so true. That's how I think.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right.
I used to sometimes dread going to the gym because it's like so long. Like sometimes I'd be in like an hour and 15 minutes just because I get, you could say between sets start scrolling. But now, I kid you not, half an hour, 40 minutes, I'm in, I'm out. And like I feel good.
Yeah,
I feel good.
it's a lot better way to train.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a lot of people within the fitness space and there's a lot of voices, on YouTube, Google. There's a lot of information out there. What really sets you apart in the way that you coach and the way that you train your clients?
So there's so many people in the fitness space at the moment, more than ever, I'd say at the moment. And really, there's just a lot of information overload coming from a lot of people. So a lot of coaches want to make you believe the process is a lot more complicated than what it needs to be, purely so obviously they can gain you as a client, but they can really bump up their prices at the same time. I like to take the approach of, if the client's going to get results, they're going to pay you anyway and they're going to sign up anyway. So when I'm signing up a client, I really want to break it down really simply, maybe in 3 to 4 steps, as opposed to other coaches who want to drag it out into 10, 12 steps. So, and you're already overwhelming your client. So they're at the same time most likely not going to sign up. If I break it down into 3 simple steps, really easy, explain the whys and hows for those steps, they're going to want to come work with me. Also, I like to take an approach of really making people feel comfortable when they do train with me. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things when you are face-to-face coaching, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not able to make someone feel really comfortable, also to open up to you when they are training as well, you're not really going to gain many clients. So it's also that human connection aspect that is pretty big. In saying that as well, if you can't make someone feel comfortable when you're training with them, they're not going to tell you about when they have slip-ups and their losses. So if they've gone off their meal plan and they're not comfortable enough to send you a message or even tell you that they've done that, they're just going to lie to you, and it's pretty much going to take you both a couple steps back. So with my clients, I'll get messages on weekends, weekdays saying like, hey, Dan, like, I've fucked up on my meal plan. I've eaten this. What are we going to do now? And we always take a pretty simple approach. I don't overcomplicate it. Calories are calculated on a weekly basis. So we'll just calculate how many calories we have left for the week and then minus whatever we have eaten. So also, as opposed to that, if my client tells me I've got a birthday on the weekend, I know I'm going to be eating this, and that. From the start of the week, we'll take away calories every day and leave them in store for the Saturday night so they still can eat and still achieve their goals and not go over their calorie intake for the week.
Yeah, man, that's true. I know with my plan you kept it simple.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something that I had to go out of routine to like achieve. It was maintainable. That it's almost been a year on now, and I still do the same
Yeah.
exercises, still same plan,
Yeah.
continually growing because it's been maintainable. When a client comes to you, do you have any sort of like key indicators, like methodologies behind your work that you look into and say like that's probably an area we need to target? And I know you get that information pretty quickly through the macro calculator you have as well.
Yeah.
But firstly, before we touch on that, is there anything you kind of look for that you think that's a key area you need to target that gives you the indicator of the type of plan you need to build?
So normally when onboarding a client, we'll have about a 15-minute chat where I'll find out a lot of things about their lifestyle, their eating habits, any medical or health conditions that they do have, which is a big thing that you do need to find out about people. And I'll pretty much look at what their lifestyle does look like. So if it's an extremely busy person, I'll know in terms of a meal plan, they're not going to be able to have extremely interesting meals because they are really busy. So really keep it simple for them in terms of training program as well. If it's a really busy person, it might limit them to training, 3 days a week, but they're still going to achieve their results in that. Also, their fitness level is a big thing as well. So if you've got a beginner signing up with me, I'm not going to go put them on barbells doing deadlifts or throw them into free weights right away. We'll build through machines around the gym, pin loaded, plate loaded, and then together we'll work our way into some bigger movements, so deadlifts, barbell squats, etc.
No, that's really good. So you kind of got in your head, based off certain indicators, the type of training program
Yeah, exactly right.
you need to build. So when that client initially comes in, we built out a calculator for Dan, like a macro calculator, also acts as like a lead capture. How's that been with having pre-qualified clients coming in the door using that calculator?
Yeah, so it's been a really crazy tool to add to my business. Obviously, in the online space, when people have been using it, it's been really good to get a lot of information and key indicators about where their problems are and be able to shoot out an email and pretty much propose to onboard them. In terms of people using it as existing or in face-to-face clients, it's really easy. So they'll put in all their details and I'll pretty much get a breakdown of their macros, calories, what their activity level is like as well, and makes it really simple for me to build them a nutrition plan and really simple for them as well to really be able just to go through it and then have it right in front of them.
That's true. They can kind of get a sort of value up front.
Yeah, exactly
That
right.
before even contacting you, they get you could say a breakdown or a report of what's possible for them or what their ideal outcomes look like, which is pretty cool. So also when when those leads do come in, I want to get more into, the day-to-day how you run your business. Where else are you kind of using AI? So do you use AI to create plans? Do you use AI to break down different areas or target points for your clients? Just want to dive into that as well.
Yeah. So where I'd use AI day to day, it won't be for nutrition or training programs at the moment because I feel that's at the moment where I can set myself apart from a lot of other trainers who do want to implement some sort of AI tool that's not too reliable at the moment, and they're going to get cookie cutter programs. So it's pretty much the same program for a beginner to a really experienced lifter. They're going to get the same program, which that's not really going to work at the moment. So I'd like to really, for AI, how I'm using that is automatic messages at the moment. So pretty much as soon as someone inquires with me, they'll get an automatic message shot straight back at them. That's all in my fitness app that I'm using at the moment called Kahunas. So also with check-ins, they'll fill in a check-in sheet every Monday, which pretty much tells me how they've gone throughout the week. So their stress levels, any milestones they've achieved in the gym, any troubles they've had, and an automatic message will get sent back out to them as soon as they do have that check-in. Obviously, I will still have a look through their check-in because I need to see if I need to keep them accountable. But that's pretty much the only way that I've used AI at the moment. Obviously, with the macro calculator, which is a pretty crazy tool that we brought in that
nice.
I feel like we should touch on and go into a little bit more depth about it.
Yeah.
So when we brought in the DFL macro calculator, I originally had seen it on Adam Sullivan, so evidence-based training on their website. And I had a look at it and I thought it's such a cool tool to really bring into a coaching business. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, how could I bring this into my business? The first person I thought of was yourself.
Thanks,
I
man.
remember screenshotting it, sending you the link and saying, is this something we can build and really implement for myself? You had a look at it, and we decided yes. Now, the crazy part about that is I really just at the start wanted to use it as a free tool. So it was just going to be free to use for everybody until speaking to you, and you really proposed, let's use it as a lead capture,
Yeah.
which is something that I hadn't even thought of for a second. And using it as a lead capture was probably the best idea for it, rather than going with just a free tool just for the look of it.
Yeah, so 100%, because my like understanding behind it was, capturing leads. When you want to capture leads, right, you want to give them some sort of value up front. And what better way to do that than giving them a full breakdown of their macros? All of this was, again, based off real data in the back end for we built the tool. So when a client comes in, automatically they can get a little bit of value before they even get in contact with you, and also get that speed to lead. So Dan gets a complete breakdown of the entire report. It also gives him some possible angles that he can approach the client based off his methodologies and training as well. But I want to touch on that other point that you just said, where right now you're looking at focusing on more the operational side rather than the nutritional and training programs, because you don't want it to be cookie cutter. And I think that's a prime example. AI doesn't need to be involved in everything. Sometimes as humans, Dan's going to know the best between one client or another on really how to coach and train them. And I think that going down that route when a lot of people are possibly using those cookie cutter AI programs are pretty cool. So yeah, I applaud you on that, man. That's good.
Yeah, it's something that I think a lot of coaches should still strive for at the moment. Obviously, the way the world's going, there will come a day where there's going to be a lot of more reliable tools to build nutrition programs and training programs. But I just think at the moment, we really haven't reached that level yet.
Yeah, nah, you're right, definitely. How do you feel personally when you see clients really achieve your results? Like, I know myself starting out in the space, when I deliver like a consultation or a tool for a client and see like their eyes light up, or find a problem in somebody's business and like save them time and money, like it was so fulfilling. How are you starting to find that as clients message you and they're smashing their goals?
Look, it is one of the best feelings, because obviously for them, really happy that they're getting results, but it also feeds into building belief into what I'm doing as well. To be seen that, okay, what I'm doing and planning out and my process is consistently getting results. So it keeps reassuring me that I'm on the right path. Obviously, there's still so much to learn in the space, which I'm learning every day, but that's really fulfilling. But also, for example, when an overweight client comes to me, at the start, I see their confidence levels are really low. I wouldn't say they're defeated as a person, but there's just not a lot of charisma about them. As soon as they start seeing the weight dropping off, they're building confidence in the gym as well, because when they first step into the gym, they don't want to be there at peak times. They want to try come mid-afternoon where there's pretty much no one in there, because not that they're ashamed of themselves, but they just don't have a lot of confidence about the way they look. After we do a few sessions, they're like, all right, can we start doing nights now?
Nice, yeah.
And it makes me really happy, because it obviously means I'm building confidence in them, making them feel more comfortable, and we're getting the results because of all that.
Bro, that's sick. At the end of the day, you're changing lives, because not only are you helping them with the physical aspect, but like we said at the start, with the mental aspect, that confidence goes into every other area of their life.
Yeah, exactly.
Their relationships, their work, their business,
Yeah.
all of that. So that's pretty sick. I'm going to give you an interesting one here. I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios, and I want to see how you tackle them.
Yeah.
So say I'm coming, because there might be these certain profile types out there watching that they can get some quick advice. And I want you to give me the number one thing you do for them right now if they were to come to you as a client.
Yeah.
So somebody looking to build muscle.
Yeah. So someone looking to build muscle, I'd recommend straight away eating on a calorie surplus. So adding about 1,000 to 1,500 calories already to your daily eating, and really move from training in your 12 rep range, which is comfortable, to training in progressive overload. Put yourself training at a weight that when you get to your 8th rep or potentially your 10th rep, you're going to be absolutely failing and struggling to get that rep out. That's the biggest thing I'd say at the moment.
Okay, nice. Let me think. Somebody looking to maintain.
Yeah.
So say they don't really want to put on weight, but they don't want to lose weight. They just want to continue going at the strides that they, or the confidence that they have at the moment.
Yeah. So someone looking to maintain weight, I'd say in terms of your training, about 5 to 6 exercises per session, training at a moderate intensity. So that's when you can kind of refer back to your 12 reps at a comfortable weight, not having to go at that extreme intensity as if you're trying to going through muscle building or anything like that. And in terms of calories, really your maintenance calories aren't too high or too low. So for myself, weighing in at the moment, I'm about 78 kilos. My maintenance calories are about 2,300 calories.
Do you constantly track those every day?
So not constantly tracking, but I'm pretty aware of how much I'm eating from day to day.
Yeah. That's good. Final one, looking to lose weight.
Yeah. So really simple. Looking to lose weight is pretty much, out of all of those, really the most simple one. So if you're looking to lose weight and you still have current muscle at the moment, I'd recommend, in terms of nutrition, trying to get in 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, and then your fats and carbs kind of work around that. And in terms of training, really try get 3 to 4 strength sessions in a week, training at a moderate intensity, and also really 8 to 10,000 steps a day is the big one. Constantly moving, and you're going to see the weight drop off.
Okay. I actually have a question, because this is something I've been wanting to know, and it's something that I don't do at the moment, like supplements.
Yeah.
What do you think about like creatine, protein powders, any other supplements in the space? Because I've been thinking of starting to use creatine. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So creatine's obviously one of the best natural supplements you can be having at the moment. It fills your muscles with water, so it does make your muscles appear a lot bigger. It does assist with recovery, especially if you're training at a high intensity. Creatine's going to assist with that. In terms of protein powders, it's a real easy way to get your protein in.
Yeah, true.
So normally a scoop of protein would be anywhere from 25 to 30 grams of protein. Obviously, that's if you've got a really high protein intake. Obviously, then if you can get your protein in naturally, so through meats, go ahead and do that. But it's always good to have a little boost of adding a scoop of protein into whether it's your morning oats, your morning Wheat Bix, or even just a morning shake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's plenty, in saying that, there's plenty of other supplements on the market like omega-3s, magnesium, that do all aid with recovery. So there's plenty of things you can really dive into. Obviously, research a little bit about what you're taking as well, so you can see and look for what the benefits are going to be.
Nice. No, that's definitely, because I want to start. I feel like I've been feeling sore lately, so the recovery side of things. I was wondering if creatine again can help me blow me up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to look into. Another thing I want to touch on as well is probably like the personalization between, you can go through, especially with like ChatGPT and these different programs at the moment, you can really go through and like find something that works for you. But I don't think it's as personalized as what you have done. So as an example, when I came to Dan, I was coming off a pretty bad back injury. So I hadn't trained in the gym for, probably 2 to 3 months, and hurt my back in the gym. And I said to Dan, I need exercises that will not hurt my back. And since then, it's been a year, I have not hurt my back again. And those exercises have dramatically helped me even strengthen my back as well. So I want you to touch on, like, people can find information out there, but what really makes you different with the level of personalization you provide?
Yeah. So like I touched on before, is you can use ChatGPT to get a program, to get a nutrition plan. They're not really going to factor in your exercise level, your food likes and dislikes, any allergies. For yourself with back problems, any health conditions, it will say it's taken that into account, but has it really? I don't think so.
True.
So you want to stay away from, for yourself who did have back problems, we didn't want to go into any real large movements that would put a lot of strain on your back, where I feel that's where you kind of have a little bit of an edge on AI at the moment. So taking into account medical conditions and injuries, that's where we can really build a plan that is going to assist you to not really, pretty much injury prevention. So not allow you to do that same injury again. Whereas AI, can you trust it as much? I don't think so at the moment. In the future, definitely the way everything's heading, you will be able to.
Yeah.
But I feel that's where, as a coach, you can really separate yourself from anyone who just thinks they can do it on their own with AI at the moment.
That's true, because at the end of the day, you can get a level of personalization with AI, but you're coming off of real world experience.
Exactly
you know
right.
certain exercises that are going to trigger that specific problem in my back. Like I showed you exactly where it was. I know we moved away from doing overhead dumbbell presses, but moved to the machine instead. Again, dramatically helped
Yeah.
because that overhead dumbbell press was putting a lot of strain
Yeah,
on that
the
part of my
machine
back.
just adds a lot more support,
Yeah.
a little bit more resistance as well, but it does keep your back really stable.
Yeah, no, that's good. Where do you see yourself taking your business next? So you've been in the space now, well, plus your previous role, what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, so it's about 2-3 years in the gym industry.
Yeah,
So one thing, so I'll touch on is when you do become a coach, you do have one of two ways which you can go. So you can go work at a gym under an hourly rate and really put a cap on yourself. But I thought when I started, I've got nothing to lose.
yeah,
I'm going to take a risk on myself. I'm going to go work under myself. So at the moment, I'm working out of Anytime Fitness in Abbotsford. So pretty much I'm paying them monthly rent every month to use their facilities, also gaining some leads from them as well. But predominantly, it's all run by myself. So that's a huge risk that you can take when you do start as well. Most people want to go the safe option at the start, get clients handed to them, go under an hourly rate, and it's pretty safe. I thought, why not take a risk here? Let's not put a cap on what we can do, and let's see how far we can go with this. Like anything starting out, really shaky. It's really shaky at the start.
Yeah.
I remember my first couple weeks just really thinking, is this for me? Am I going to be able to really succeed in this? And it was at a time at the start of the year where a lot of people were on holidays. All my family was down the peninsula, my partner as well. And I remember getting home one night just thinking it was a shaky start. And I remember just thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I had a lot of self-reflection at that time and really thought, okay, what's the problem? Identified what the problem was. And identifying that the problem was not the way I was delivering sessions, but more the way I was explaining. So my sales pitch at the end wasn't really up to scratch. I was really ending with an open-ended question, which a little bit off topic. I've kind of gone back into sales here, but ending with an open-ended question really was where my fault was because it gave a potential client a really easy out. So by ending with, do you think this is something that would suit you? It's a 50-50 chance. They're going to either say yes or they're going to say no. Altered that to changing that to, would 1 or 2 sessions a week suit your lifestyle? Automatically, no's not really an option at this point. It's really they're going to choose between 1 and 2 mentally. There's a chance they can say no, but when I've asked that question to finish on, in their head, they're thinking 1 or 2, 1 or 2. So already I'm in their head, and that's a real shift that did change for me.
nice.
Since really doing a lot of self-reflection, I saw results start to really grow, and it's been pretty much all upwards from there.
No, man, you've been going crazy, and it's been great to see. But that is such a perfect point, that level of self-reflection, because I had a similar thing in my sales process. What I was doing is I would have a call with the client to understand their needs, and then I'd create a proposal and I'd send it to them through email. And, you'd wait to try and hear back. But what I found is that actually hopping on the call with them and running them through the proposal increased my close rate dramatically, because dealing in AI, a lot of the times I understood the system. It made sense to me, but the client didn't. So
Yeah.
they'd be looking through it and they'd think, I'm not sure how this really helps my business. But when I can hop on that call now, actually bring them through everything, and they get a way better level of understanding of actually how this system's helping them.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly right.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Because
Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like you can almost sort of sometimes try to rush through your sales pitch at the end. So I was pretty much going through listing everything that is going to be included in my coaching without explaining why and how that's included. And I feel once I took a little bit more time to explain it all, they got a lot better understanding of the whys and the hows rather than just going through a personalized training plan, a nutrition plan, one-to-one coaching, progress tracking, really explaining why we're going to do all those and how we're going to implement them really changed a lot.
It's good, man. 100%. It's sometimes all it need is a little bit of self-reflection, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Couple things before we wrap it up. For anyone looking to get into the fitness space, what's a single piece of advice that continues to drive you to this day?
Yeah. So anyone looking to get into the fitness space, firstly, as a coach, I'd say just really try back yourself. Back yourself in. Don't try copy what everyone else is doing, because that's kind of the way the industry is going. Everyone's copying each other and trying to really one up each other. You'll see a guy post, want to lose 6 kilos in 6 weeks. The next one will post, want to lose 6 kilos in 5 weeks. And it's going to get to a point where it just keeps going against each other, copying each other to the point where it's not actually realistic. And I think a lot of people are seeing that at the moment and not really trusting online coaches as much as what they did at the start, because they're seeing numbers that don't really add up. So I'd say just be authentic, be yourself, trust your own process, and really keep it realistic with people.
No, that's good, man. And final question that I ask everyone is, up until this point, you've obviously gone through a journey of self-development to get you here.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had to conquer a level of self-doubt, had to prove to yourself that your processes worked. You know, in business, life, whatever it is, what's one thing you want to leave with the audience that has pretty much helped you drive you towards this point that you're at now?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is, and it's actually a quote, I did post it on my Instagram story not too long ago. It's a quote that's actually been said by Conor McGregor, and it's, nothing external can defeat your internal as long as your inner dialogue is strong enough. So pretty much why I stand by that is because if you build your self-confidence and self-value up enough and believe in yourself enough, no matter what anyone says, it's not going to affect you. Starting out, it's really easy to get caught up in all the outside noise. Everyone's always going to have something to say. So most of the time, and it is negative. So if you can build yourself up enough, have enough self-confidence to not let anything external really impact you, you're unbeatable, because the only way you can get torn down is by breaking yourself down from the inside, really.
Far out, man. I want to run through a wall now.
Yeah.
I like that quote.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's something I've lived by for a really long time now, and it's really helped me.
It's good, man. What a way to end it off. If you're not inspired now to get out there, go do something, work hard, train hard, I mean, you're never going to be, because that quote just sums it all up. But Dan, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
If you guys want to check out Dan, I'll leave everything in the bio. He's one of the best you've seen today. That is an absolute professional at what he does. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.